This guy ahead of me had the greatest bumper sticker. He's a crazy fuck in the truck. He's going like 100 miles an hour. I don't even know if my camera's gonna be able to pick it up, but I'm driving fast too because as soon as I punched in the route to Lubbock, it's like, oh, it might be affected by the fires. It's like, oh, awesome. Thanks, fuckers. Like, that's great. Nah, this motherfucker's like burning rubber. He's gone. Alright, so he had a sticker that had a bullet on it, and it said, just the tip, I promise. I died laughing for like 5 minutes and actually said, God bless America, because what the fuck, right? Alright, so. For some reason, like, the fucking camera on my phone makes that look like really far away. But, what I'm expecting at the appointment is they tell me I need to lengthen my Achilles and clean up my ankle. But that's not even something I'm going to do until way later. Work is going too well. I don't want to fuck that up by some medical shit. I made good progress. I need a graphic designer for book covers. I'll put out a post or something soon. Because I'm working on speculative fiction story that's deals with the domestic terrorism and Second Civil War. So I have to. It's actually like I'm reading it. It's like not as bad as I thought it was. I'm editing it, preparing it to self-publish, which that's the fate of things that I think have value but can't be traditionally published. Traditional publishing is for my other works, and I will. I'm working on articles, so I've got 2 articles about German strategy leading up to the Second World War. One deals with the West, one deals with the East. They're preludes, and then they also are going to lead into 2 other articles about the actual combat. There's too much because of the word count requirement for a lot of magazines or military history journals being around 1,000. I have to leave it at that. I've also made progress on AWS. I'm on the third chapter of an 11 or 12 chapter book, and then I'm going to religiously use the exam simulator to a ridiculous degree because the mistake I made on the Network Plus was not doing that. Just doing the book questions and brain dumping. And the brain dumping doesn't really help you. It kind of does. I mean, there's some obvious stuff. Because I'm going to take that, I think, in December. AWS exam. It gives me a lot of time. I'll be in 2 classes in the summer. One's a science, chemistry, and then a film course, which counts as literature. Being in the fall, my capstone technical writing course, which I've actually done a lot of technical writing recently. And then I will have another literature course, which it's a big reason why I haven't read much fiction. I have been collecting some, mainly science fiction that I can enjoy later. Like if I run into a narrative problem in something I'm writing, I actually sit there and I'll actually like read a novel, man. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, let's see what works. And I'm also thinking about doing second editions of some of the stuff that I've written, but putting them on different platforms on Amazon for self-publishing stuff. So I have like essays, philosophy works. I have a poetry collection I'm going to put out. It's completely done. It's been done. It's actually an individual poem, so it really represents my mature work, but stuff that was early on. I have I guess it's a short story about Drifter Raj Chochon III, and I'm also writing an article about the guy. I have a classical history article about Germano-Roman relations, and the reason I'm writing the article is to be a revisionist and tell the history of German and Roman relations from the Teutonic War all the way through to when they crossed the Rhine eventually. Because I think we have a bad view of that traditionally that's not reflected in the historical record. And then I'm going to work on one about Severus, the African Roman Emperor, because I think nobody talks about that guy, and they need to. What else? Preparing for YouTube, right? Gathering public domain footage, information. So as I write these things, you'll probably see videos about them. And I do have Filmora, so I'm going to have to sit down and really figure out how to use it. And then over the next 2 years, creative projects will be completed. Energy will be put into entrepreneurial projects. I've got several people I know that have those. I could very easily help them with be stakeholder in that. I'd like to be a stakeholder in a few businesses, own one or two. So that's the plan. Continue to invest. Recently dropped 500 in the market. I haven't had to rebalance again yet. Losses are there. Obviously, the biggest sectors I put into were food stocks. That's the reason with food stocks. Definitely bought Sig stock, Sig Sauer, because of the new rifle. But if I was to rebalance, strategically you'd have to look at this. So there's like 4 or 5 stocks that I have that never lose money. United Health, Apple, Johnson & Johnson, so if you're going to rebalance, you take your losers and you put the money into that, at least a little bit. But I'm actually spreading out my individual stock purchases across Merrill, Vanguard, and E-Trade, and Schwab, so that each account is getting enough sauce that they're growing, and my Ally account draws out $200 a month into their funds. My Wealthfront account is tapped out on its free tier, so I don't want to put any more in. It's managed. I haven't used the Vanguard Digital Advisor. I'm going to consider it. I bought so many Vanguard funds, it's hard for me to keep track which ones I didn't buy. I do have a lot of ETFs picked out. My stock list is predicated on a tighter economy. So that would mean dollar stores, of which there are 3, primarily in the United States. 3 consortiums, okay? There's Five Below, there's Dollar General, which also owns Family Dollar, and there's Dollar General. So, that being said, that's where that would go. I have, of course, REITs picked out because real estate is big right now. So if real estate's big right now, and your REITs are going to be doing well. I have maybe one China fund picked out, maybe one or two Korean ones, primarily because of international tensions. I think it's important to not be gung-ho. Japan's a pretty safe market. One or two Indian stocks, maybe. They're suffering so badly right now that I would be reticent. Any emerging market fund, again, that's a problem because of the global energy shock that's going on. That hurts them the worst. And yeah, I mean, it's just trying to make good decisions. So, and one of my accounts is I'm probably going to spend 10 or 15 on the house to get it renovated. Some of it I've already done myself, little stuff. By renovated, I mean, floors repaired, shit like that. And if it ends up being too much, I'm not going to rent the place. I'm just going to sell it. And then that money would be my retirement money. But I do have travel plans picked out, 6 or 7 states within the U.S. I want to visit. And then after that, internationally, so 1 or 2 countries in this hemisphere, and then a few in Europe, a few in Asia. India, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam. Maybe Germany, Czech Republic, or something of that nature. I'd like to go to Belize, Brazil, So I do have a fund that's devoted just for that purpose. But I don't have too many creative sparks like I used to, so I'll probably just write what I have on one plate. That'll be that. And if I'm successful enough, then I'll keep at it, brainstorm. If not, it's fine. But the graphic design ideas, I don't just need somebody to fucking do random design for me. I have a vision for what the design is. I just can't fucking draw. Okay, I can't draw with pen.
Keep left to stay on I-20 West.
I'm not seeing a lot of smoke, so that's good. Because that means that I am not driving into a fire. Which is important.
Keep left to stay on I-20 West.
But I have like 4 or 5 cybersecurity books that are broadly based. And those are some of the things that I'm taking notes on. So generally my rule now, because I sat down and I looked at my new books and I said, okay, so every book that's either a primary source that I'm going to write an article on, or scientific or economic, I'm going to take notes on these texts, right? They're the ones that are important. If it's just Stephen Ambrose book number 10 or whatever the fuck he writes, no, I don't need to take notes on that. It's just rah-rah American. I get it. You know what I mean? So, with those cybersecurity books, taking notes, kind of merge that into some kind of guide. And as I take my Amazon notes, that's also going to be a document that is going to be publicly available. Because I'm going to go through the white papers. The white papers are the PDF documents you can read on PDFs. And I'm going to translate those in my own words. And probably just take my own screenshots for, lab purposes. When I sit down and retest for the Network Plus at the end of my bachelor's to my bachelor's and my master's program, I'm going to write a networking. I have the corpus of it already. There's an entire Cisco Command reference guide. I could probably have my own, screenshots of labs and whatnot. Maybe not full-fledged labs, but you know what I mean. Because I'm going to take my fucking time on that. I'm going to literally work my way through the two books I have, finish up the chapter questions that I have in my Cisco guides, go back in, make sure that I have completed I think I got up to the scaling networks on the new training, and I would be going through that and adding that into the mix. Maybe a 6 month or a year project. So between my bachelor's and master's, that's what I'm going to do. But of course, I have also, in the next month, I'm going to complete the macroeconomic and principles of management review, which isn't that hard because I've already parceled out the questions. So when my bachelor's is done, I'm going to launch in, go into my coursework at Angelo State, that is like my Excel for MBA course. I'm going to go all the way through it and take the final, see how it looks, see how difficult it is and whatnot, and then figure out if it's worth it to do the CLEP test for the other stuff or just to dive in and do their stuff. Just purchase the exam and take it, basically, would be my plan. Some of the stuff is generally useful as an investor and possible entrepreneur. So that's good. But yeah, I don't mind the travel. I mean, traveling within Texas is pretty cool. We can drive around places. Every weekend I'll be in Austin. Not doing much, visiting people. Alright. But it's really just, yeah, not a place anybody can really afford to live. Unless you're very educated, very. Why would you want to give away $1,500 to $2,000 a month to a landlord when you already own a property? But it is hard to meet decent people to an extent, like decent women in Atlanta. It's like a very, very challenging process because of the drugs and everything else. It's a worse issue than it ever was in Austin. Austin always had drug use, but
Keep right to continue on US 84.
this is an interesting experience. I'm past the culture shock more to the disgust side. Like, even with there's a lot of homeless people in Austin, but whatever.
Keep right to continue on US 84.
some of my concepts for articles, the ones that I really want to work on, are either ones that I have enough. I'm probably going to end up writing 6 or 7 by the end of the year, just as a bellwether. Those are typically going to pay you anywhere from $200 to $1,000 a pop, right? So if I manage to supplement my income with stuff like that, then I don't know, would I even like it? So if I'm successful with that, I wouldn't want to go crazy. So I'm probably making maybe like 50K a year, essentially. And then it's like, why would I give a fuck about getting an MBA? So it's up in the air. But if I'm not doing anything, creative-wise or entrepreneurship-wise, then why not? Once I'm fit enough. Think about my fitness objectives now is they're more about normalizing my blood pressure numbers than they are any kind of strange desire for aesthetics. Every time I ever hear anything negative about my appearance, it's you're too short. I've only heard that like a few times, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I make up for it, and so I'm not worried about that. It's more. Yeah, it's more just want to be healthy. So next week I get to hear about my blood work. I cannot be fucking diabetic. There's no way. I don't eat sugar. I work out enough. So and just being on the clonazepam, Klonopin, whatever it is, I'm on like a 0.5 milligram, but that's done wonders. I think just taking it at night chills me the hell out. The amlodipine actually drops my numbers. And my Lexapro has definitely affected my personality positively. That I can feel. I mean, it's the one antidepressant that I really have enjoyed. And it's really great to be on an antidepressant and not be beholden to someone's opinion of what your personality is like, because I had the experience of dating someone, and once I got on an SSNI, complained that it altered my personality in a way she did not enjoy. Of course, it's not about you, bitch. It's about me not wanting to not do anything, or be self-destructive. It's about me, not you. And so it's great having the freedom to feel the way that I feel when I have to worry about that one way or the other. I don't know why people are like in relationships, toxic people have the nerve to be like, go to therapy. Like, what possible outcome do they think is going to happen with that? Other than they look like a fucking asshole. I've never said that to anybody. I've suggested it out of a spirit of goodwill, but it's never like I'm going to fight and I'm like, you need therapy. No. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, I have learned don't talk to your exes. Any of them. They're not worth it. They didn't care about you when you were together. They don't care about you now. I love it when I'm driving somewhere and my estimated arrival time just goes down. mean, how awesome. I'll teach you. Actually, yeah, do I really want to stand? Where'd you learn to drive, Brandon? Highway to Hell. True story. Good old windmills. I mean, I am trying to figure out if that's actually smoke or if it's just part of the sky being overcast, because what I heard is that we're going to get rain on like over the weekend or some kind of shit. But yeah, it's one of the things I want to do is I have a ton of primary sources, and there are some gaps in YouTube. So if I look up Simichian or Tamerlane, I mean, I don't really get a lot of results. So I'll probably do some commentaries on that stuff. I might have some kind of video about it to kind of mimic what I see with the Landmark series of books. The Landmark books are reproductions of classical history with maps. And I think it's very important for Westerners to have something similar, but for like Chinese history, because we're so fucking unfamiliar with it. So that's one of my projects. I've done, a few political videos, but I have to get like really relevant. People care. You're talking about, yeah, I've done some stuff on like atheism. Nobody cares. It's a dead. That horse has been beaten to death. One of my articles is going to be called "The Falsity of the Indirect Approach," because Basil Littlehart, along with I think his name was Fuller, were the primary British theorists of armored and maneuver warfare, who were in contact with and influenced Guderian to develop his panzer forces. Basil Hart wrote a book about indirect strategy being superior. And the one approach, I can think of several examples where that wasn't the case. You'll want to write an article about it. The most obvious being Germany's, which failed and ended up bringing England into the First World War. So, in order to avoid the French border forts, they invade Belgium and use railway guns to suppress the Belgian fortresses. The British declare war, and then they have that huge, long, drawn-out conflict, which ends up essentially ruining the 20th century. And then you look at what would have happened had they just crossed the border with those same railway guns. They would have leveled the French forts and taken Paris. Wouldn't have mattered, So that's an example. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. Okay, the Russians try to advance over 3 axes, instead of just, like, let's say you really want to overthrow the government, just put all your forces in Belarus, launch a couple of mercenary attacks and take it from there. It would have been successful, but not really. The Russians suck. the reality of the Russian military is, you know, that they were able to win the Second World War because we fed them and provided them machinery. Basically, we were their logistics train. We gave them enough trucks to run logistics and to actually motorize their infantry instead of having them ride on tanks, you know, on the side of tanks, which is why you see that so often in newsreel footage, because that's how they transported their infantry, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, it's actually funny because Joseph Stalin himself said that without the Americans they wouldn't have won the war, which is true. But military vehicles. Russia is not this way, guys. I don't know if you know that. You're on the other side of the road, can see them. But I'm actually at the end of my book buying spree because, God, I bought like 100 books in the past 6 months. And not just physical. This is a problem, including Gutenberg downloads, like fucking knows. It's a lot. And I'm going to be trying some new IT training too, so after I'm trying to look for a Security Plus exam simulator if I want to do that. Worst comes to worst, I'm going to take the Linux Plus at some point. I do it every day. I'm just waiting for like downtime. So like, let's say I have a surgery, I want to have some kind of technical thing I can do while I'm laid up in bed and can't do anything. I mean, I got plenty of books otherwise, but that's the main thing. But if I have this tendon lengthening and ankle procedure, I can recover in like 3 weeks. You know, it's not bad. My left foot that I was having the pain with is kind of cleared up. I've stayed off it. I'm gonna be doing like, oh, if anybody needs a treadmill, yes, I need to get rid of it. I can't use it. It's too hard on my feet. So basically my cardio is elliptical, rowing machine, and rope climber that I bought. Biking. 2 sessions of biking. And then my arm. And then the same bike used as an arm bike. And then if I go to the gym and work out at home, that's two lifting sessions. Which, if you're wondering how you read and stuff while you do all that, you just, you know, combine what you can. Like, you absolutely can, like, have a fucking laptop on your lap while you're doing a lap bar and reading a book or whatever for free. So, you can have a book while you're on the exercise bike. You know, you can listen to an audiobook while you're in the gym. I don't listen to music while I'm doing that. I'm a bit on a classical kick, but that's just for writing. But yeah, I mean, there are options. my time keeps going down, so that means I'm driving like a motherfucker. That's good. I hated the highways in the Midwest with their bitch-made speed limits. Like 65 everywhere. Like, what the fuck is this? Good old Texas. It kind of all looks the same. It kind of does. But I think most of my epic poems are going to be done by the end of the month. Because whenever I'm writing something, I'm writing it, because I've started writing it and stopped multiple times over the years. It's going to take me a couple years to edit it to my satisfaction in terms of linguistic dexterity. Okay? So, I'll be done with it by the end of the month. But every time I go back into it, I have to kind of find my groove again because it has to have a cadence. It has to be, I'm doing it in couplets, and I'm interspersing it with philosophy. It is what it is. So. Because some of my goals, like when I said I wanted to finish my business math and stats course, it means I got 2 chapters done. I didn't get all 6 done. But that means whatever I do now, I won't have to do between degrees. And I don't really know. I don't know how much there is for side hustle, but I am going to be doing some kind of freelance stuff. See what I can do. But I despise hustle culture in clients. It's gross. And it really bothers me when people tell me I'm making X number of dollars a year and they don't have fucking anything in savings. And that's like, alright, that's going up in the nose. That was one of the red flags about somebody else, but they were making $55K a year. And 401K only had like $2K in it. She was a kill hit. That was the first kill hit. But that's the internet in terms of kind of my rants. So I do have 4 pages of stock picks, and those will be purchased. Probably like by October. I'm going to be investing in iBonds until October. That's when the rate is, and that's when we'll stop. But those, I don't know. Those will just be like an emergency fund, I guess. I don't really have a dedicated purpose. Like my E-Trade account's my house fund. Schwab accounts for traveling. Maryland accounts for self-employment, like advertising. Graphic designers. Now the accounts would be like for new car, because I only want to spend $5,000 more on the vehicle. Then I'm actually just going to get an RV. What am I talking about? That's what I bought for. Whatever. I'm getting confused. Just get a classy RV, drive it everywhere. But that's the affordable way to relocate if I want to. Which I don't really want the RV unless I really want to move. Nothing wrong with like hotels. But I want to go to like New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, California, Washington, Colorado again. I don't care about the South. I've already seen it. Michigan. Come to Michigan. Go to Detroit and check it out. Buy some property. That'd be wild. Become a real estate investor in Detroit. New Hampshire, Vermont, some of those places. I want to be like up in the see some New England, right? Go to Norway too. Forgot about Norway. But yeah, we'll see. If I ever have vacation time for it, what happens? It might take years, but I'm going to do it when I'm young. And I turn into other relationships. That's tied up. I don't know. Nah, I can be alright. Maybe some douchebag sex tourists. You know, and I do. If Russia wasn't crazy, I'd like to go there, but I'm fucking nuts right now. Same reason I don't want to visit mainland China. So after, if I do get an MBA after that, or maybe even during, that's when I'm going to concentrate on languages too. So that I develop a polyglot, you know what I mean? I think I've got books on all these languages in all these countries I'm talking about, so I just haven't really worked through them. But I'm on my last, book buying spree. Because I'm running out of shelf. I'm out of shelf space. And after I clear the AWS, I'll probably go H plus. I have one or two chapters from the A plus that I want to just, write up into technical articles about CPUs and hard drives. I think I've already done that, but I have to look. And once those are done, I can put those out. I don't want to write a full book about the A plus. I think it's a worthwhile certification. But if I also take that Social Security Plus, I would just buy an exam simulator, just go with it. Like my Audible has a ton of books in it, so my Hoopla, so that's the way I get a lot of information. I have been included the Ukraine war. It has been funny. Yeah, this occurred to me. This would be good revenue bonus. 5,000 a year for side business and 5,000 for writing. Something similar for dividends. I don't know. Ballpark numbers. Put my income right in the place where I wouldn't have to go to grad school. I mean, I just, you know I'm dreading it, but it's like, I want to do what I know. Because I know I can do it, but fuck. Because if I finish everything, I like write some great books or whatever. Or I write some books, they're done. So part of my life is like done. And I do YouTube, and that's like finished. I would just exist. I'd just be like working and doing the business thing. Whoever the fuck I was with. It's kind of, maybe that's what people do, I guess. Read about 50 books a year. It's taking 2 or 3 years to finish what I have. Go back to playing video games in my 40s. I'm trying to be a streamer, it just doesn't work, you know. It's not my jam. But hey, you can always give it a shot, right? I just fell out with my gaming friends. Not all of them, but I just can't spend 20 hours a week playing fucking video games. Like, who the fuck does that, man? That's crazy. But yeah, that's probably what I would do. Can't have kids biologically. Who knows? Maybe I'd be in a different headspace. I don't know. Because believe it or not, even though I'm not married, it came up. It's come up 3 times, maybe 4. Right? So. In a serious matter. Every time I said no. And by looking at how the relationships worked, I was right to say no. Either because I was at fault or they were. I'm not even going to bother assigning blame, but, you know. One of my cats is stomatitis again, so I have to get him to the vet. Hopefully on Tuesday when I have to go back and talk to my PCP, my primary care physician, about my blood work. It's also when I can find out where my testosterone's at. If it's elevated, then I'll know the stuff I'm taking is doing something to me, meaning like the testosterone. You know, ectosteroids, ectosteroids, whatever you want to call them. I'm taking like 3 doses a day. I'm taking folic acid. I'm eating enough protein. And I'm drinking enough water. And I'm taking a multivitamin. So that there is a deficiency that's come up in my blood work before about folate or protein or hydration being a problem. So that it ends up becoming a problem again. I will oh no. Well, because yeah, if there is another folate deficiency, that just means I need to eat more, like really eat more vegetables, like forcing myself salad every day, that kind of thing. Buy fresh salad. You know what I mean? Testing my liver function was kind of makes me nervous. Kidneys were hyperefficient. Okay with that. Cholesterol is probably going to be like not so great, but I have been eating pretty clean, so we'll see if that works. Because I want to compare my numbers between now, when I was eating completely like shit, and when I was vegan. Because I know when I was vegan, I was 120 overall. That's perfect. I've been incorporating good cholesterols and good fats, avocados and olives mainly, and olive oil. Right? So those are all great. I'm going to patch my roof. So that drywall mud, fuck around with it, figure out what I'm doing. And I'm actually going to start with the fucking wall because I can just cover that shit up if he doesn't do it, you know? A lot easier than I can with the ceiling. But the main, oh my god,